You are listening to KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank, your partner in possible.
Welcome in to another 3 Mile Pod. I am John Kurtz. I am joined today by Cole Manbeck. No Derek Young, but we have a very special guest. I think you guys are going to be pretty excited to hear from this guy. The newest Wildcat, Tylor Perry, transfer guard from North Texas, one of the best players in college basketball last year, who is now signed up to play for your Kansas State Wildcats. We are thrilled to talk to Tylor here today. Before we get going, need to make sure that we thank our great sponsor, Holiday Distillery. Make sure that you got your 360 vodka or your Ben Holiday bottled and bond bourbon to get ready to celebrate guys like Tylor playing in the purple and white next year. That is the best way to do it. We love them. They are K-State folks who love the Cats as well, so please support those who support us. Holiday Distillery, Ben Holiday bottled and bond bourbon, and 360 vodka. That is the way to go. All right, if you pay any attention to K-State basketball, K-State hoops recruiting, it's been a very exciting portal season here for K-State, coming off the Elite Eight run last year, all the momentum that Jerome Tang has built up with this program, and that's culminated in landing one of the most sought-after guards in the country in the portal, being Tylor Perry from North Texas. And Tylor, we're thrilled to have you, man. Congratulations on making the move here to K-State. Just take us through what that process was like being recruited in the transfer portal.
It was a lot different from the first time I got recruited, for sure. It's a blessing though, man. It was wild. I had never had that much attention in my life. I had to get 2 phones for the first time in my life. That became a reality, and I enjoyed it, but it got a little tiring, a little overwhelming. It was fun though, just to be able to, it was an honor to meet a lot of the coaches that I got to meet and talk to some of the people I got to talk to. Like I was definitely blessed to be able to sit in certain rooms. It's different seeing certain people on TV and then being in face to face with them, and they telling them that they telling you that they need you. It's definitely a bittersweet moment that it was weird soaking in the moment, but like afterwards sitting back and being like, man, like actually being able to meet this guy and meet here and see these places, it was that surreal moment.
Yeah. I want to expand a little bit on your story and your backstory. I guess I'll let you do that for everybody. But when you say, like, I had never had that much attention in my life before, I mean, you had to go to junior college, obviously, before you get to North Texas. Like, it was just a long, winding road for you to get here to this point where you had that level of respect. So take me through what your process was like from high school to where you're at right now.
Oh, yeah, man. Like, just coming out of high school, I wasn't recruited Division I at all. I had no D1 offers. I didn't get no calls from any Division I's coming out of high school, so it hurt, but it fueled me. Definitely fueled me for the next 3 years, and I just let it continue to help me grow and just have the mentality that I got today. And then coming out of JUCO my first year, I also didn't have no offers. That's a lot of people don't know is a lot of people thought I could have left JUCO my first year, but in reality, I didn't have it. Nobody was calling, and I felt like I played well. I know I played well high school, but like I've said, I probably wasn't ready. And at the time, you don't realize that. You don't understand that journey. You don't understand what you need until you're actually doing it. And so like now, being a person in Maryland today, like looking back, I definitely was not ready for Division I basketball. And I'm okay with that. Like I said, I've enjoyed my journey, the process of it, even though it gets hard at times and the whole journey has been tough. I've enjoyed it, man. I would go back. I wouldn't change it or anything, and I do it the exact same way. And so, coming out of JUCO, when I finally started getting a couple of Division I offers, they were all low major. Because of COVID, I wasn't able to take visits, and so I had to do everything via Zoom. And so that was tough because I'm a big people's person, and so it was hard to not be able to get in front of those guys and get a good feel for them. And so I had to really trust somebody over the phone. And Coach Matty B and Hodge and Reen, as we all know, those guys made it really, really easy for me when I was picking and choose where to go coming out of JUCO. And I felt like family before I ever got to campus. And that was a big part why I chose K-State. I wanted that again, and I got that exact same feeling as soon as I got to Manhattan. And so it was definitely fun, man. And like I said, I wouldn't trade my journey for anything.
Well, speaking of your recruitment, Tylor, we kept seeing these lists, the schools you were considering during your recruitment. I think we saw a top 8 at one point. K-State wasn't included. And then a couple weeks later, we saw a top 4, and K-State was one of the top 4. Can you take us through that? I mean, did you know all along K-State was one of your top schools, and was there something purposely done there to leave them off the lists, or what was behind all that?
I would say, it was in the back of my mind. I don't think Reem was doing a good enough job to recruit me at first. So, I think he was assigned to me, and I tell him I don't think he did a good enough job in the beginning to recruit me. And so it was definitely still love there, but it was just about taking my time, and I didn't want anybody thinking like I had my mind set on something, because I knew rumors were out there about the K-State thing is already done and whatever the case may be. And I wanted to really explore my options and really dive deep into what I wanted into schools, and I had to take my time with that, and I just didn't want anybody attaching anything with me that wasn't true. And like I said, K-State was super, super supportive of it. They understood it. And like I tell Reem, he wasn't doing his job.
Well, to take it a step farther though, Tyler, did you have a decent idea that K-State, when you entered the portal shortly thereafter, did you have a decent idea K-State was going to be a place that you wanted to end up, or one of your top 2 or 3 schools?
Yeah, I was hoping for it, but shoot, everybody wanted to go to K-State. So I could have understood if K-State chose to go in a different direction. Max Abbas, who was going to Texas, I know they were really high on him. Cryer, that just went to Houston, I know they were really high on him. So, I'm not one of those guys who, isn't blind to what's out there in the college world. Those are some talented guys all over the country. And so I knew that, it might be a possible chance that they may take 2 other guys before me. And, with this whole timing of stuff and, guys' preferences, I understood that. And so the biggest thing for me, again, was just taking my time, and not worrying about what other people was going to do, but, decide, putting a timetable on Tyler's decision.
I like that. It's just such a refreshing, mature approach to everything. And along those lines, I'm curious what it was like with, we hear about NIL and all the offers that are out there right now. And like Hunter Dickinson, who went to Kansas, was commenting on that today, and that went pretty viral throughout the sports world. What was it like? Are you fielding a bunch of different offers? Is it crazy with people trying to one-up each other with what the money is going to be? What is it like as a very highly sought-after prospect in the era of NIL right now?
I wouldn't know. I didn't. It's not a more knock on North Texas at all. I know we're a smaller school, so we didn't really have that issue out here of, this guy's getting this amount of money and he's getting this. Because in reality, not much of us got paid all a lot, and that's because we're due to it too, or North Texas is new to it. And don't get me wrong, the collective out here in North Texas and other people around, the town are working hard to be able to get in on it. But it was just late to the party for us out here this past year, and that's okay. I was at North Texas because I enjoyed being in Denton, and I enjoyed my coaches, having my teammates, and so the money thing wasn't super huge for me. If I was chasing money, I would have left after my junior year. But I knew I had unfinished business at North Texas. So whether the money there or not, I loved my time here and I enjoyed it so much. So I personally wouldn't know the ego side of the money thing. I couldn't answer that for you, but, I haven't, there's been stories out there about different guys and what they have to deal with, but, I really never paid attention to it. I never once sat in on an NIL meeting during any of my visits. I chose to stay out of the room. I didn't bring it up to coaches, and if a school or whatever, or a collective or a business, wherever in Manhattan decides to bless me, I would love to do business with them. But I'm not coming to Manhattan for money. I'm coming, to win a national championship.
Well, that's music to our ears for sure, and I'm sure it would be to Jerome Tang's too. You mentioned being in the room with a bunch of different coaches and guys that you've looked up to before, and what those moments were like. I'm curious how different Jerome Tang is from other coaches. What sets him apart as a coach when you're meeting with him face to face and one-on-one?
Oh, he's just real, man. One of the most genuine, real dudes I've ever been around in my life. You don't come around people like him every day. And somebody whose full faith is in God and the people around him. He invests everything he has into making everybody else around him better. And so, a lot of guys can have super big egos and how am I going to win this game and how am I going to get this amount of money? this, and that. And it's never really about the players, but with Tang, it's all about my staff, my family, my players, how I can help them. Because I think Tang knows, and I think that's why we get along so well. When you put everything you can into trying to bless others and help them with your whole heart into it, God will send that blessing back. And, that speaks volume for him. He stayed at Baylor 19 years. I'm sure he could have left way before that. And just to stay there and invest in that program and the coach there, it just shows the type of person he is.
Cole, I'll have you hop in here in just a second, but let's take a real quick break. We'll come back with more with new K-State guard Tylor Perry.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network. Entertain, educate, inform. KC Sports Network.
All right, we're back. Cole, go ahead if you got a question here.
Well, you mentioned Jerome, Tylor. What's your relationship with Jerome, and how much of an impact did he have on your recruitment?
Oh man, that's one of listen, that's one of my big brothers in a sense. I would say like I said, I tell everybody we picked up right where we left off. Quick story about Reem. Year when he was at UNT with me, we were going into UTEP. We were playing at home. We were playing against UTEP, and Coach Golding, shout out to him, love him to death. But when I was in high school, he called me a Division II guard. He told me I was a Division II player, and I probably was at the time. That's okay. That's why I love him to death, because he was honest, and But at the time, we hadn't talked in years, so I have it on my mind yeah, I'm gonna everything that UTEP gonna get tonight is gonna be my absolute best. I had it in my mind. I'm gonna score 50 tonight, and that's what I'm thinking. And so we walk in the shoot around, and Reem every day has something to say to me about Javion Hamlet. Every single day, you haven't got me a ring. You haven't got me this. You haven't did this. Javion did this, and I'm already on edge this day, so I'm really not trying to hear that. And so he starts with me. And when I tell you, that was one of the only times me and Reem got really right here. If you don't get on my face, we're gonna put boxing gloves on and we're gonna fight it out. And so he keeps going on about how J-Ham did this for me. Shout out to J-Ham, man. One of a kind. But anyway, he's just going on and on about what he did. And so we're walking back into film after shoot around, and he was like, J-Ham, the reason I got my house, this and that. And I screamed back at him, and all the coaches are in there. And I screamed back at him, well, I'm going to be the reason you keep me. And so we just, we going back and forth, and coaches start laughing. But it's just that type of relationship we have. And I think that's part of the reason why I end up doing what I did at North Texas was, that year he was here with me was because he never let me get complacent. He never let me feel like I was good enough. And when you got somebody who's always telling you something that you don't want to hear, that's the people you want around you, because, I had to get better because I didn't want to hear his mouth. The next day, I had missed the free throw against Miami in the ESPN. It was my first 2 college games, and I missed free throw, some 101s, and he told me for the rest of the year he's the reason that we lost the game. And we win a conference championship. One of the first things he says, and he's like, if you would have hit free throws against Miami, we would have had an at-large beat. And it's just things like that, that's just our relationship, and, I'm super thankful for him.
Well, love that story, Tylor, and we're obviously very thankful for Jerome and obviously everything he does as a coach, but also shining a light on the program with his social media, which I'm sure you're going to end up on a lot of some of Jerome's IG posts and Twitter posts. But yeah, we love him for that. Hey, take us through your visit. When you took the official visit to K-State, what were some of the things that stood out, and what was the experience like for you?
So as soon as I got off the plane, I walked out of the terminal, and the returners and a couple of the GAs and the coaches were outside doing the lowdown. As soon as I walked out, they were doing the lowdown, and I just broke into a smile. And it was right there. It was just yeah, this is it. This is exactly what I'm about. And, the people I want to be around. And then we ate as a team at Reem's house that day. Reem had texted me a week before, what does your family like to eat? And I'm thinking, yeah, maybe we'll eat one night at his house or whatever. But no, the entire program came over to Reem's house, and we all ate over there and had a good time watching the game, NBA playoffs, and like it was just things like that, like you don't get everywhere. And I'm just super appreciative of things like that, because them the type of things that you don't get to see on visits. For people to actually open up their home, and I also was able to go to Tang's home, and we broke down film over there and talked about the plans over there, and like you just don't get that. A lot of people do it in film rooms, a lot of people do it in coach's office, but like for them guys to open up their home and things like that just shows like, okay, this is the real deal. These are real, genuine, down to earth people.
How much did you get a chance to work with Marquis Noel? Because we heard some rumors about you being able to shoot around with him a little bit, but how much were you able to be around him?
No, I didn't get to shoot around with him, but I definitely got to watch. That's the reason that dude is a pro. I got to watch him work out, and that's the reason he's a pro. Like, and he don't miss. So big shout out to him, and I'm looking forward to seeing him do great things next year, and hopefully the league gives him a chance because he's very deserving, and his workout show why.
I've got one more on the Marquis Noel front, but let's go ahead and squeeze in our second break while I'm thinking about it real quick here, and then we'll come back with more with Tyler.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network. Entertain, educate, inform. KC Sports Network.
All right, so Tyler, when I saw on Twitter, a lot of the reaction when you committed to K-State was like, okay, Marquis Noel replacement here for the Wildcats. And obviously there is a big hole in the backcourt with Marquis Noel going on to the next level now. But in terms of like your game and how your game stacks up, like how do you compare and contrast like what your game will look like on the floor versus what Marquis Noel's did, for those who haven't had much of a chance to see you play?
I think we have a lot of similarities, being smaller guards, of course. I think we can both really shoot the ball well. Marquis is probably a better passer than me, as we all see with the display he put on in the tournament. I've never had 20 assists in my life in a game, but yeah, definitely a little bit past. I think our finishing is very similar. I think I'm a little stronger up top than he is, but the thing about it is Marquis set the standard of what the program should be ran like when you have an elite point guard. And I can't go in there trying to be what Marquis was. I can't go in there trying to be, I have to go be Tylor. And that's why Kansas State brought me in, was, to be myself. And like I said, he laid the foundation, but now I have to go, make my own way. And I'm definitely going to study him, take a lot of things that he did and, try to add them to my game and use them. But at the end of the day, I have to go be myself, because people, seeing Marquis and people, it's not going to be like, people haven't seen it from a small guard already. So it's going to be expected. And so I can't go in there thinking like it's going to be easy, or thinking that somebody is not expecting that on the scout. So I definitely have to add a lot of things to my game. I have a lot of work to do specifically on my body. And, I just got to go in and be me.
You mentioned, Tyler, watching film, though, with Jerome Tang, and I'm sure you saw K-State play a little in the NCAA tournament or this season. How attractive of a spot was it also just with the freedom that Jerome Tang lets his guards and his players play with?
Oh, it was definitely like, yeah. I needed, and not only with Marquis, but what he did with Butler and Mitchell a couple years ago. Like, that just shows, like, you can only not do it with one guard, but he's done it with 2-point guards. And so I'm hoping, here in the next couple of weeks that I know they will. I'm 100% confident in our staff that, we'll get another ball handler. And then also just, being inside somebody like Cam. And then Tomlin down low. Like, I think just being around other super elite players, not that I wasn't here in North Texas, but just being around other super elite players, like, you have to have that type of freedom. And Tang understands that. And, you got to have a coach like him to be able to understand that and to be able to let you go out there and play your game and rock around and make mistakes, because that happens during the course of games. And, he's okay with that, as long as you know what you did and know how not to do it again. And so, like, that was definitely one of the biggest things for me, is the way he allows his players to grow and learn over the course of games.
But for K-State fans that don't know, and we've talked about it before, your junior year at North Texas, you hit 5 game-tying or go-ahead shots in the final 4 or 5 seconds of those games. I think I saw a stat that you shot 60% or nearly 60% from 3 late in games this last year. What is your mindset? That you have a knack for making plays at the biggest moments. What is your mindset late in games, close game situations?
First thing is winning. I hate losing. I hate losing. That was a big thing for me. It's just like I trusted myself and my work so much that I put in way before I get to those moments. No matter if I go 0 for 10 and hit the last one, or I go 12 for 12 and hit the last one. I just trusted my work so much, and you work on those shots and those moments for so long, way before you get to that situation, it becomes, like second nature to you. And that's the biggest thing is like, you just have to put in so much work. That way when you get to that moment, you're not new to it. And I've tried to do that, and I've prided myself in that. I try not to get rattled or try not to get sped up or any terrible thing in those moments. And the biggest thing is winning. And if that's not even me taking the shot, just making the right play, that's getting stopped or whatever the case may be. Like, it's all about winning at the end of the day. And if, somebody else is hot that night, like this year, Kyle Hotsbury against La Tech, I got face guarded or at the end of the game and I couldn't get the ball. I ended up setting a screen for Kyle, a brush screen for him to hit the game winner against La Tech at home. And it's just like, I'm willing to do anything, to win. And whether that's me making it, me setting a screen or going to get a rebound, I'm going to try to do whatever I can, to win.
Going back to before, the last couple months or the last month and a half when things really picked up with getting into the portal and coming to K-State, what did you know about K-State before that? Just like, or maybe even like a year ago, what were your impressions of K-State, or what did you know about the school?
Before Tang or after?
Yeah, before Tang. We'll say before Tang.
I really enjoy the fans, so I don't want to end up on a bad note. But I actually had an uncle go to K-State back in the 90s. He played football at K-State. I'm not very familiar with them. Of course, Coffeyville's closer to Lawrence. And K-State fans, don't be mad at me. Christian Braun is one of my best friends. Parker Braun is one of my best friends. I love DeJuan Harris, one of my best friends. We all came up on the same AAU team together. So Ochai Baki was my teammate, my AAU teammate. So I'm sorry I'm saying that, but it was never, I never chose either one. I was always in between, but I'm glad to be a Wildcat now. I can't wait to go down to Lawrence.
Hey, yeah, it's been a minute since K-State's won there, man. So like if there's one, like, listen, we have a lot of requests for you, I suppose. But if you could win in Lawrence, that would be great. We would love for that to happen. That would be very nice. All right, well, wrap it up here. Cole, do you have anything left for Tylor before we let him go?
Well, I mean, you just a fun one, Tylor. You mentioned they played Lowdown when you got off the plane and arrived in Manhattan. Is there going to be a song that you would like to request to kind of be the theme song of this year, of the 2023-24 team?
Now, we let Tom, and they say he the king of the Ox. So whatever they got, I'm rocking with, and I'm going to be part of the hopefully the next trend.
Any guys like you're helping recruit right now in the portal? I'm not asking you to name names, Tylor, but are you doing some work to try and land a couple other guys here to help you guys out?
Absolutely. Anytime I can help with the recruiting, I'm willing to do it. Like I said, I want to play with elite players, and K-State made a run last year to the Elite Eight, and I'm trying to get to Phoenix next year, and you can't do that with by yourself or without great players. Not that we don't already have some, and the guys that we're returning. But I'm excited, and I can't wait to get down to work, and I know this staff is gonna fill out the roster. We're gonna be just fine.
Well, I'll leave you with this, Tylor, since I didn't mean to walk you into KU talk there a minute ago. What's your message to K-State fans? Just a last message to K-State fans that you want them to know about you.
We're coming, man. You got a winner coming, and it's gonna be exciting, and I cannot wait to get down to Manhattan to meet the rest of you guys, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Tylor, we greatly appreciate the time here. Once again, congratulations. We're thrilled to watch you in purple and white next year, and thanks for taking the time here on the pod.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching this production of KC Sports Network, the fastest growing sports media network in Kansas City. Check out these videos that feature our team of more than 15 former players, insiders, and analysts bringing you the best Chiefs coverage you can find. Entertain, educate, inform. KC Sports Network.